CrazyRonn here, just going through a quick rundown on new mechanism stuff, version 6. Added new ore processing tiers, so now we can get even more ores. Just have the normal typical rundown of energy producing appliances down here to make the run through go smoother. Just these hydrogen generators are vital, or these electrolytic separators are vital for other machinery, so we'll just go through a quick rundown. First, you have your replacement of normal ore processing, which is the furnace, right? So energized smelter is like electric furnace. It's powered by electricity, so one ore block creates one ingot. Okay, now that's tier 0 of sorts. Now you upgrade to tier 1, which is the enrichment chamber. You put the ore block in there, and you get 2 copper dust. And the copper dust gets put in the smelter, and now you have 2 ingots. So tier 1 doubles yield. Then the next upgrade is tier 2, which you need both a crusher right here, and a purification chamber. Purification chamber, put ore block inside, creates 3 iron clumps. Now, to create those iron clumps, obviously other than the energy you need oxygen. And the cool thing about creating hydrogen power is they require electrolytic separators. Electrolytic separators, they pump in water. There's water pumps in the back there you might not be able to see. They pump in water into the electrolytic separator, and they separate it into both hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, which comes out of these blue tanks, and the electrolytic separator is useful for other substances. Just in this case, that red tank right there corresponds to oxygen. So this oxygen, you can hook up and pipe out right under here to the purification chamber, so it uses the oxygen up, while the hydrogen generator uses up the hydrogen. So using just an infinite water source, you can create not only energy, but triple ore yield. So now we have 3 iron clumps, which have to be crushed into a dirty iron dust. Then from dirty iron dust, they can be created into normal iron dust, or normal ore dust. In this case, it's iron. And this smelter smelts it into 3. So that tier 2 triples yield. This is not only it's a good idea to have a large bank of these hydrogen generators to not only power your equipment, but also to help bleed off excess oxygen or hydrogen. Because the problem with electrolytic separators is once their tank is full, they stop operating. So see, this hydrogen generator is now operating because I'm bleeding out excess oxygen. So that could be problematic. So you have to manage it of sorts. Now onto the new tiers. Newest tier is this one, chemical injection chamber, tier 3, right? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So this is tier 3, which requires hydrogen chloride in the same way that oxygen is added to the purification chamber. So yeah, an ore block, it mixes it with hydrogen chloride, creates 4 gold shards. Gold shards get put inside the purification chamber into clumps. Then they must get crushed. Crusher's very loud. Then into the enrichment chamber, makes me think of Portal, and then finally into the energized smelter. So that's a tier 3. That quadruples ore yield, and it requires this. We'll talk about the quintuple in a second, but the next tier, another tier that was added, hydrogen chloride. To get hydrogen chloride, you need to combine hydrogen and chlorine into a chemical infuser, and to get hydrogen chlorine, you need it from electrolytic separator, like these ones. You need to pump brine into these instead of water, which brine you get from a salination plant. And to get brine in the salination plant, you need to pump water into it. So this large copper multi-block structure is the salination plant. Basically, you pump water into the salination plant, which it needs a lot of it, mind you. There you go. It needs a lot of it. You pump it into the salination plant. The salination plant, which I don't know why, but it requires power from solar panels, advanced solar arrays. So it needs these. I don't think you can just normally hook up normal power to it. it goes to the salination plant. It heats up. It can be anywhere from just merely 4 blocks tall to 19 blocks tall. The higher it is, the hotter it can get, and the more brine it can create. So basically, it pumps in water. It heats up, creates brine. Now, the brine gets pumped out of here into the electrolytic separator. Now, electrolytic separator, the blue is the hydrogen, and in this case, the red is chlorine. Since it's constantly pumping into this to this next machine over here, it's not going to fill this tank. So basically, you need to pipe in from the hydrogen side into one side of this new machine called a chemical infuser, and you need to get the chlorine from the other side and pump it in the chemical infuser also. So this chemical infuser, which needs to be powered, obviously, combines the two into hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is then pumped into the chemical injection chamber. So using this tall multi-block structure, putting it into this electrolytic separator, into this chemical infuser, creates the necessary input for the hydrogen chloride to create the quadruple gold input, or output, throughput, whatever. I forgot. I was searching through these machines trying to look for it, but I actually had it in my inventory. Now, the final tier 4, is quintupling. Now, that's what the rest of this machinery is. It requires everything beforehand and some of the stuff in the back here. Basically, what you do is you go into, where is it? Here we go. The chemical dissolution chamber. Is it the chemical dissolution chamber? Do I put this into? Yeah, it should be this one. It's not working on... Oh, wait, I know why. Anyway, basically, in order to quintuple it, you first need to get a chemical injection chamber. And in the chemical injection chamber, you need to put hydrogen chloride, which is being pumped from the machine, which is sharing with this one, the hydrogen chloride. You pump the hydrogen chloride into it. Then you put gunpowder. So you need a reliable source of gunpowder in order for this to be able to quintuple. Then I have this set to auto eject, so it's automatically putting the gunpowder, the gunpowder it's creating, mixed with the hydrogen chloride, creates sulfur. The sulfur gets automatically put into the chemical oxidizer. The chemical oxidizer turns the sulfur dust into sulfur dioxide. Then the sulfur dioxide gets combined with the oxygen. See, now it goes back to grabbing oxygen that is shared with the purification chamber off the hydrogen generators. It combines the sulfur dioxide with the oxygen to create, which gets pumped into this machine in here, in the real deep here, into sulfur trioxide, because dioxide with oxygen is tri, so trioxide. So it creates sulfur trioxide. Now the sulfur trioxide has to be combined with water vapor, which these sets of pumps in here pumping water into the salination plant also pumps water into this rotary condenser. This rotary condenser is set to condensating instead of condensating. So that means it's breaking down water into water vapor. So now this input of water is turning the water into water vapor, and the water vapor is being mixed with the sulfur trioxide. And when mixed with the sulfur trioxide, it creates sulfuric acid. Now the sulfuric acid will go into the machine, and it will break down the ore block. Now you see, you can only do one at a time with these machines. Unlike the other machines, you can create factories, but these ones you can only do one at a time. And it created a osmium slurry. So this osmium slurry goes from this chemical dissolution chamber into this chemical washer, and the chemical washer turns this slurry, this normal ore slurry, into clean ore slurry. This clean ore slurry gets transported into the chemical crystallizer. The chemical crystallizer turns the ore slurry into crystals. So this long preliminary process you need to just get the sulfur trioxide or the sulfuric acid from the sulfur trioxide and the water vapor is needed to create these crystals. So after you put the ore in, sulfuric acid is just going to build up. This ore slurry is I'm going to wait till it goes all the way down, because that means to use it all up. And it transfers it from here to here, but this is automatically getting pumped out to the next machine over, because you can automate a mechanism. And that's empty. It's pumped out through here, and now this is clean osmium slurry right here. And all this requires large amounts of power, which is why I have everything set up the way it is. And I'm trying to compact this entire layout, but it's interesting given the way you can automate and lay these out, because the reason why these are all in a straight line is because I can essentially automate it in a straight shot. And this final ore slurry, or this clean ore slurry, in this case osmium, this final one is going to create the last crystal. And what you do is you take these crystals, there you go, now it's done. You take these crystals, now you put them in the chemical injection chamber, which takes the hydrogen chloride from the chemical infuser, which takes it from the electrolytic separator after combining hydrogen and chlorine from a separation of the brine, which is pumped from water. It creates 5 osmium shards, and the osmium shards, whoops, that is very, very unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. It's not the Enrichment Chamber. What's next? What's the next tier? Chemical injection chamber into the It was what am I thinking? What am I thinking? I think it was the Enrichment Chamber. No wait, the Enrichment Chamber's right there. God damn it. Purification Chamber. There you go. My memory's so shot. Purification Chamber. It sucks up all the oxygen that you have pumped into it. And oh wait. This one's missing the upgrades because I had all the machines upgraded so that they sped up the process quicker. But this quintuples throughput. This entire process back here and more. And so pretty much once you build up momentum and get up to speed, you can essentially amass large amounts of ore, which you can expand into creating more energy sources and create more factories and to create more digital miners like the one over there to mine more and more and more stuff. So this is the clump. Clump goes in the crusher, and the crusher crushes into dirty dust. Dirty dust has to be, that's extraordinarily loud. The enrichment chamber, you have to turn that down in post. And then now the enrichment chamber to the smelter will create the ingots. There you go. So tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. So you can upwards to quintuple out ore throughput. You just need to get all this machinery built up. And it eats up a lot of energy too, so just normal hydrogen generators, you're going to need a bunch of them, and hydrogen generators are considered top tier. So it is quite a process, but as long as you understand how to get these to automate, you can pretty much just have this go through one go. You can automatically pipe in one ore at a time into the chemical dissolution chamber. It'll go into the chemical washer, then it'll go from chemical washer to chemical crystallizer, then the injection chamber, then the injection chamber, the purification chamber, to the crusher, to the enrichment chamber, to the energized smelter, and so on and so forth. So this is Mekanism version 6. So now you can just get more and more and more ore, which I guess past a certain point you'll build up so much momentum it's kind of unnecessary to get even more ore, especially to get the later tier machines. But you know, it for people that like to get lots of resources, I guess it's important. So that's that walkthrough, that go over. So until next time, CrazyRonn out.